If you're looking for the answers, I still don't have them. But what I do have is a particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people who mislead, misinform, or misrepresent the sports card industry. So if you don't do that, I'll let it go. But if you do, we're going to talk about you. This episode is brought to you by the great people over at GradeSaver Pro. Make sure you visit gradesaverpro.com for all your card supply needs, including the GradeSaver Pro Card Sleeve, the only sleeve with an attached pull tab and the only sleeve I will use for my cards. And make sure when you check out, use code Investigator. That will give you 25% off your entire order. And thanks again to the great people at GradeSaver Pro for our episode giveaway. After each episode, we will give away some of the great products from GradeSaver Pro. To be eligible, it's simple. Simply like and subscribe to the video, leave a comment, and if you're randomly selected, we will be in touch and tell you the next steps. So, congratulations to last episode's winners, and good luck to you. With that, Ty, hit the music! Welcome to the Sports Card Investigator Holiday Spectacular. Everyone else is doing one, so in the spirit of content creation, mimicry, I'm doing one too. So, welcome to another episode of the Sports Card Investigator Show. It's a very special episode. My name is Andy. I am the aforementioned Sports Card Investigator, and you can see I have spared no expense for the spirit of this holiday season, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to answer some of the many questions that have come my way that you wonderful people have sent me over the last few weeks, and as well as maybe touch on some hot topics in the hobby. So let's just dive right in. Topic number one. PSA is going to offer a regular submission. Regular submission. Although on a queue system or kind of a limited basis. The price is going to be $100. So if you're lucky enough to get a spot, what does that mean? And again, I get a lot of questions, and I see a lot of questions from people in the hobby asking if a card is worth grading or not. Now that, as we say, is a loaded question, because sometimes it doesn't matter what the cost of grading is if you're dealing with an ungradable card. And we talked about it in a previous episode about how you can ensure or you give your card the best chance for grading. But for argument's sake, let's say you have determined that this card is worth submitting. Here is the formula that you guys should use going forward at that $100 price, or really at any grading price. This will work. It is my Christmas gift to all of you. Now, before I continue, I know I'm going to get the comments, and I understand it, but before, let me just make this clear. If you are grading, or if you are grading for your own collection, and you're not intending to sell, and it's a long-term hold for you, or a forever hold, then it doesn't matter what the cost of grading is. What is important is that it fits in your budget. For instance, I have several cards that I have for Ty and I's collection, or Ty and My's collection. I don't know what the proper grammar would be. I'm sure someone will tell me. But there's no rush when I will submit that. I'll submit when the time is right, because there is no urgency. Now, on to the burning question of what is the right price to submit for grading if your intention is to sell. So, first, for ultra modern cards, simple. You take the price you paid for the card, add the cost of the grading. Okay? So say you have a $100, a $50 card, a $100 card, and then you have a $100 card for grading. That's $200. Okay? If that price, that $200, if the price of a PSA 9 is 30% higher then that $200 you have into the card, if I do my math correctly, that would be $260, then you'll be okay. And look what that PSA 9s are consistently selling for. That's important. If you want one sale at a PSA 9 that was 30% higher than the cost of the card in the grading, we may have to think about that. But if it's consistent, you should be comfortable in submitting your card for grading. Simple, right? Well, it is, if you're, again, we go back to it, if you're comfortable with your grading expertise, because if it comes back an 8 for ultra modern, you're probably going to lose money. If you're grading a super short print, say anything under 50, which in this day and age may not be that short, if there's 40 different cards that have a short print of 50 on the same player, you get what I'm talking about. But you still could be okay if it's a super short print and it's a PSA 8, but no guarantees, because remember, another question I get, raw cards are usually priced at or above an ultra modern PSA 8. So your due diligence will come into play to determine the actual pricing and what fits. One thing in your favor, hopefully, is you should get the card back in a quicker fashion than we did prior. Should. I'm hoping that when you do that, the prices won't fluctuate as much as we've seen over the past year. We're not waiting 15, 16 months to get cards back. You saw what can happen in that amount of time, especially in the volatile market that we were in, but no sure things. And it really doesn't matter what the cost of grading is. Just use that formula. As far as non-ultra modern cards, adjust the formula accordingly. What grade does the grade have to come back at if you're going to sell where you will make 30% more than your targeted grade? Why 30%? Look, 30% is a good number if you want to make, say, a 15% profit, give or take, because you have to allow for fees and taxes. But let your conscience be your guide. But to sum up, once and for all, price of the card, price of the grade. If the PSA 9 is 30% more than those costs, you should, in most circumstances, be okay. And I think it'll be interesting to see if people are going to take shots at grading at that $100 price. Roll the dice. Like if they do like a select premier card, like a LaMelo or an Anthony Edwards, I would think they would be borderline cards, especially if it doesn't gem at that $100 grade. So no doubt there are going to be some people that are going to submit, and they'll probably in the short term be okay. It's just going to depend. I remember when some content creators were express grading NBA LaMelo, NBA LaMelo hoops just for that purpose. Probably not the best plan in hindsight, paying $150 for a raw LaMelo hoops card and then expressing a $300 grade. They were suffering from FTM syndrome, first to market syndrome. That card now is a $5 card. A PSA 10, $95. That card on March 9th of a year or so ago was $2,000. And I know I'm going to hear people rationalize it, that's fine, by saying, with the prices now, you're going to keep pop counts down. And that is a true statement, no doubt. But it's still a common card. Yeah, Andy, but there won't be that many graded. I get it. But there will always be those cards in people's possessions. You have to keep in mind the way the cards are being pumped out now and being produced at such a massive rate going forward. I remember that happening once before in our hobby, and no one wants to see that again. Next question on everyone's mind: will PSA bring back more economical grading? Like I have any insight on that? Well, as luck would have it, I do. Before I tape this, my very good friend Rich sent me a post saying PSA is saying, or that it anticipates service levels like economy and value will be back by mid 2022 and shut down 30 days later. That last part was a joke. I hope. We'll see. But so that is some exciting news, right? So if a regular grade is $100, and it is my uneducated, worthless guess that economy may hit, if it comes back, $75 and value 50, or if we're lucky, economy 50 and value 25, I do not anticipate we're going to see a $15 grade again, let alone those days of the $8, $9, $10 grade, but time will tell. And if that happens, then base cards are back, baby! I'm just kidding. Base cards I don't think will be back, but would it be an interesting move by PSA if they wouldn't grade base cards going forward? It'll never happen, but then that would be an interesting, just thinking off topic here, but ooh, another great topic. I have recently watched and listened to content creators extol the virtues of this type of card. Some have even bragged that basically they told you so. And here it is. The question on everyone's mind, the burning question keeping everyone up at night. I'm here to answer it for you. Drum roll, please. Are F1 cards a good investment? Let me answer that question with a riddle. What has two thumbs and doesn't give a flying Ferrari about F1 cards? This guy. Look, I don't know anything about F1 cards. I know that shouldn't stop me from giving an uneducated opinion. I mean, it could be good. I don't know. I don't own any of them, so there is no advantage of me telling you to go buy them. Another kind of joke. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, cool dudes driving fast in sick cars and exotic places like Abu Dhabi and Monaco, just like James Bond, kind of. I clearly don't know anything about the sport. It is a sport. It is a sport. The drivers are athletes, right? They must be in good shape to squeeze into those leather jumpsuits and cram themselves into those cars. If not an athlete, they're definitely flexible. I probably have said too much. I'm probably in trouble. And of course I'm kidding. It's not a sport. I mean, it's sport. All right, look. Here's the deal. Most people pumping the virtues of F1 have one thing in common. They all own them, okay? And there is nothing wrong with that. Why wouldn't they, right? If they turn out to be right, then we're going to hear about how we all missed out on the F1 gravy train. I heard a guy pumping Uno cards the other day. The next big thing. And time will tell, but for me, I am not going to lose any sleep on missing the Uno boat. It's funny, no one really talks about their big misses, just their big wins, unless those misses are spectacular. I mean, no one remembers who won the 1996 US Open Championship, but they do remember Roy McIlroy holing out after he put 5 in the water. Sorry, had to do it. 25th anniversary of Tin Cup. Google it. But all kidding aside, right? I talk about basketball cards. There's no secret. I own basketball cards. Look behind me. I love basketball cards. I sell basketball cards. If you like vroom vroom, then buy F1. And if you don't, it shouldn't matter what I think or anyone else thinks. The only opinion that ultimately counts is the person looking back at you in the mirror. At the risk of great embarrassment, but in keeping with the holiday season, and I mean this with all sincerity from the bottom of my heart, I'm offering this simple phrase for collectors from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, collect what you like. Collect what you want. Collect what makes you happy. Because that's why we all got into this great great hobby in the first place. I wish you all a wonderful holiday season. May all your breaks be successful, and may all your cards come back a gem mint. And until next time, take care.